Hello, friends. In a small, struggling town called Gary, Indiana, a fragile child was born with a voice far bigger than his body. His name was Michael Jackson. The house wasn't large. Life wasn't easy. But there was one thing that filled every corner of that home: rhythm. His father, strict and relentless, believed his children were meant for something greater. And among them, one stood out. Michael wasn't just talented, he was different. At just 5 years old, while other children were playing in the streets, Michael was standing under stage lights. With his brothers, he became part of Jackson 5. But anyone watching could feel it instantly. This child didn't just sing songs, he became them. His eyes spoke, his body moved like music lived inside him. He wasn't performing, he was transforming. Success came fast. Too fast. Hits like "I Want You Back" and "ABC" echoed through homes across America. Fame wrapped itself around him before he could even understand it. But behind the applause, there was silence. A childhood traded for rehearsals. Discipline that felt more like pressure. Years later, Michael would quietly admit, "I never really had a childhood." As he grew older, something inside him began to shift. He didn't want to be just the kid from the group. He wanted to discover who he really was. And so, he stepped away from the shadow of his family and stepped into himself. In 1979, he released Off the Wall. It wasn't just music, it was freedom. For the first time, the world saw Michael as an artist, not just a prodigy. But nothing could prepare the world for what came next. In 1982, everything changed. The release of Thriller wasn't just an album, it was a revolution. Every track, every beat, every video broke boundaries. And then came the Thriller music video, a short film that redefined what music could look like. Overnight, Michael Jackson didn't just become famous, he became legendary. The world crowned him the king of pop. Then, in 1983, came a moment that would FR. Then, in 1983, came a moment that would freeze time. On the stage of Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever, Michael performed Billie Jean. The crowd watched, and then, in a single impossible motion, he slid backward, effortlessly. The Moonwalk. It wasn't just a dance move. It was magic. It was the moment the world realized this wasn't normal talent. This was something else entirely. But fame has a cost. In 1984, during a commercial shoot, a tragic accident set his hair on fire. The injuries left scars, visible and invisible. From that moment, changes began. Physically, emotionally, something shifted. The world watched his appearance transform, but very few understood what he was going through inside. Still, he kept creating. Albums like Bad and Dangerous proved he wasn't a one-time phenomenon. His music evolved, and so did his message. He sang about unity, pain, injustice, and hope. He wasn't just entertaining anymore. He was speaking to humanity. But behind the global icon, there was a man searching for something simple: peace. He built his own world. Neverland Ranch, a place filled with rides, laughter, and wonder. To some, it seemed strange. But to Michael, it was a way to reclaim the childhood he never had. Then came the darkest chapters: accusations, trials, endless media attention. His life turned into headlines. Though he was later cleared in court, the damage ran deep. The man who once lit up the world was now surrounded by shadows. In his final years, he tried to rise again. He announced a series of concerts called This Is It. Fans around the world held their breath, waiting to witness the return of a legend. He announced a series of concerts called This Is It. Fans around the world held their breath, waiting to witness the return of a legend. But on June 25, 2009, everything stopped. Michael Jackson was gone. The voice faded, but the echo never did. Because Michael Jackson was never just a singer. He reshaped music. He redefined performance. He turned songs into experiences and silence into emotion. From a small boy in Gary to a name known in every corner of the world. And maybe the most haunting truth of his story is this: the man who brought joy to billions spent his life searching for it within himself. And that is what makes him unforgettable.